I've already heard people say that if you have a 200 amp hour battery, you should use a 200 amp fuse. Well, sometimes people mix everything up a bit. The amp hours of the battery, which refer to its capacity or even the maximum current of the BMS. And then there's also a misunderstanding about the actual role of the fuse in an electrical installation. So let's go over all of this again by taking an example with a power inverter connected to a 12-volt battery, in this case a WattCycle, because it's currently one of the best batteries on the market. We'll have the chance to talk about it again in other videos. Before we start, you'll find our electrical diagram pack in the video description. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel, give a little like, and don't hesitate to ask your questions in the comments. Let's start with a basic question. What is the purpose of a fuse? Contrary to popular belief, the fuse is not there to protect your battery, but rather to protect your cable. Its role is critical. It must blow and interrupt the circuit before the cable overheats, melts the insulation, and starts a fire. It must be able to act quickly in the event of a short circuit, especially with lithium batteries, which can instantly release enormous currents compared to a lead-acid battery. The fuse must be able to stop this current spike thanks to its breaking capacity to prevent the wires from melting. This is why you should never choose the size of a fuse based on the battery's capacity, but only according to the maximum current that the inverter will consume. To illustrate our demonstration, we'll use two devices that I particularly like: the WattCycle 12-volt, 300 amp-hour mini battery, and the Creabest 2000-watt inverter at 12 volts. Step 1. Identify the maximum load. The device with the highest consumption here will be the inverter, which has a power of 2000 watts when subjected to a load of that value. Here, we are going to size our setup based on the maximum power of the inverter. Step 2. Calculate the actual power in direct current. It's important to understand here that the inverter can power a 2000-watt device, but it also has its own consumption due to energy loss when converting 12 volts to alternating current. Here, the Creabest inverter has a minimum efficiency of 87%. So here, we'll take the worst-case scenario and do a simple calculation. 2000 watts divided by 0.87 equals 2299 watts, so we'll say 2300 to round it off. That's the actual power the battery needs to supply. Step 3. Determine the current in amperes. For that, it's simple. We divide this power of 2300 watts by the battery voltage. That gives us 180 amperes, rounding off. 2300 watts divided by 12.8 equals 180 amperes. But we could also just use 12 volts because in practice it's quite possible that we'll drop below 12.8. So 2300 divided by 12 equals precisely 191.6 amperes. Now we also need to check that our battery can handle a nominal current of this value. On the WattCycle battery we have a BMS rated at 200 amperes. 12.8 times 200 equals 2500 watts. We remain below the power demanded by our converter. Loss is included in the calculation. We're close to the limit, but in practice we'll have a margin of about 15 to 20 amperes. Step 4. Determining the fuse size. Now that we have the maximum value in amperes, we apply a safety factor of 1.25 or 25% to prevent the fuse from overheating or blowing unnecessarily during prolonged use at full power. So 191.6 amperes multiplied by 1.25 equals 239.5 amperes. Now there is no fuse rated at 239.5 amperes. The closest standard fuse here will be 250 amperes. To keep it simple, we always round up to the next highest standard fuse size. But be careful, the value of 250 amperes is not the only criterion when choosing a fuse. We'll come back to this later, so make sure to watch until the end of this video. Before we continue, even though it's not the main topic of this video, I'd like to draw your attention to the cables provided with voltage converters. In this specific case, the converter comes with 35 square millimeter cables, or AWG2, but it is stated that they are limited to a current of 175 amperes. This is specified in practice. If you use a 2000 watt converter to connect a 1500 watt device, there's no problem. 1500 divided by 0.87 equals 1724 watts. 1724 divided by 12 equals 143.7 amperes. With 143.7 amperes, you are below the cable limit. In this specific setup, for a 1500 watt device, you do not need to change your cables. We can even continue the exercise all the way to calculating the fuse. 143.7 amperes multiplied by 1.25 equals 179.6 amperes. So in this specific case, you would choose a standard 200 ampere fuse. However, the problem here is that the inverter can go much further. And over time, who can remember that the cables are not sized for the maximum power of the inverter? Even if you only use 1500 watts, if you install a 200 or 250 amp fuse rated for the maximum power of the inverter, you must absolutely install cables that can handle more than 250 amps, such as 50 square millimeters or AWG1, because the fuse will not protect your 35 square millimeter or AWG2 cable in the event of a prolonged overload at 2000 watts. To help you, here is a small summary table of the currents drawn from the battery, taking into account the 90% efficiency of an inverter and according to their rated power. There is also a second column with a 20% safety margin added, and finally the fuse rating in the nearest standard size. We can now talk about the different fuse technologies and other points to check besides its ampere rating. To secure your 12-volt or 24-volt installation, the choice of fuse type should not be made at random. Here are 3 essential technical criteria to check, as well as the types of fuses suitable for your circuit. First, the operating voltage. The fuse must have a rated voltage higher than that of your battery bank. For 12-volt and 24-volt systems, there are different types of fuses: AMI MIDI, Mega AMG, and ANL. They are generally limited to 32 volts, which is perfect for this use. The rated current now is the value we have already calculated. For example, 250 amps for your 2000-watt inverter. It represents the current that the fuse can continuously allow to pass without melting. Finally, the breaking capacity is the criterion most often forgotten. This is the fuse's ability to instantly stop a massive current during a short circuit. Lithium batteries can release thousands of amps in a fraction of a second. If the fuse's breaking capacity is too low, it can literally turn into a welding rod and continue to let current pass even after it has melted, causing a fire. You might be wondering why. Well, it's because the internal resistance of a lithium battery is very low, as we already discussed in a previous video about car alternators and lithium batteries. The short circuit current is calculated by dividing the voltage by the internal resistance of the battery, and it can easily reach over 2000 amps. Moreover, the BMS cutoff might not be as responsive, even though it remains a safety protection to take into account. However, choosing the right fuse will definitely protect you from a fire. As you can see in this table, the ANL type fuse has a breaking capacity of up to 6000 amps on average, which is 2 to 3 times higher than the others. I know I'm getting into the details of safety here, but I recommend using ANL type fuses. And to conclude, keep one thing in mind. If there is one thing you can oversize, it's the cable gauge. It's better to go too big than too small, because the absolute safety rule is that your cable must always be able to handle more current than the rating of your fuse. This precaution ensures that the fuse will blow to interrupt the circuit before the cable overheats or causes a fire. And one last tip, also avoid this type of circuit breaker product. Honestly, I don't trust this kind of protection at all. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to ask your questions in the comments, like and subscribe to support us. See you soon.